Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Effect episode 41, running back rankings in the week 6 preview, brought to you by Dynasty Theory in partnership with Dynasty Daddy, and as always, Fantasy Football Infinity. Jay and Holler, how's it going?
Good, man. Just we're full on into football season. Unfortunately, the injury bug hit the NFL, so that's a bummer. We'll get into that, but just enjoying some football, man.
Yeah, football's going well. A lot of my teams are doing better than I thought. I guess I need to keep telling myself, or at least tell myself I'm not as bad as I thought.
Or you're just bad at tanking.
That's true.
Ooh,
yeah,
because
I mean, more of my teams that I thought were like middling are actually doing better than I thought. So my tanks are pretty bad. I've gotten those.
Good job.
I'm okay with the tank. Bad. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, should we hop right in?
Let's do it.
All right. So to the IR, what a long list. Justin Jefferson, Devin Achane,
yes,
James Conner, Anthony Richardson, all to the short-term IR, I believe, for everybody, correct?
I think Richardson's
I saw
a longer one, right?
Yeah, I saw like
one. Okay.
6 to 8 weeks is what I saw.
Wonderful.
That puts him like between, 12 to 14, and so if they're out of it, I think they just shut him down.
But I mean, he still needs to develop though. Like,
yeah, I see. But every time he plays, like at least something gets.
That's okay. That's the thing. So I saw someone was like re-ranking the 2023 like rookies, and they still had Richardson at 101. I think I am in the boat where I'd rather take Stroud. Like Richardson's played 4 games and he hasn't finished 2 of those. So like, it's not great.
We got Bijan a 101.
Well, I think he made quarterbacks.
I think I would take Stroud over Bijan.
Oh,
I think I'm still Bijan.
I'm with Ron. I'm still with Bijan. I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm fully Stroud over Richardson now. But I just think there's still a little more upside with Richardson. But we're seeing that he's not finishing games. But I also think that Houston will get some more weapons. So I think moving forward, we should see some more out of Richardson Stroud.
Just to jump to Justin Jefferson here. That's the one I was going to say was a little bit more concerning just because the Vikings are bad and he didn't get his long-term contract that he wanted. So there's really not a ton of incentive for him to come back if they're out of playoff contention after 4 weeks, which I mean, at the rate they're going, they're 1-4, right?
1-4 right now.
1-4.
So that's not great. And if they start shipping off some vets, like I think they were trading or trying to shop Danielle Hunter. They're like their best pass rusher, and there's a ton of rumors about Kirk Cousins. Like Jefferson may get shut down for the season, which is a little bit of a bummer.
Huge bummer.
Their upcoming schedule, they have the Bears this weekend.
It's a coin flip there. I feel
is that right?
They got the Bears.
Okay. I just make sure I'm on the right date here. Okay, then the 49ers, that's over with already.
That's a loss,
Packers and Falcons over the next 4.
Honestly, I think they'll be lucky to go 2-2 on that stretch.
I agree. 2-2 is going to be a pretty good showing for the Vikings out of those 4.
And if they don't, if they go 1-3 or 0-4, that I agree. I think Jefferson. Jefferson is going to be shut down.
Yeah, I totally agree too. That's definitely the contract stuff in there. He doesn't want to be out there playing with no money.
Well, it sounds like sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just think, and you have to pay Justin Jefferson to keep him happy, to keep the guy happy and on the field, for your team.
Yep.
I don't know if he wants to be in Minnesota either, just from some of his comments he was making. Like he was on an interview the other day just talking about how he would want to play with Justin Fields. Not like he never says anything nice about Kirk Cousins, which is kind of funny.
Man, everybody's so mean to Kirk.
I know. I don't know if this was a real or maybe just but I thought I heard something about he would go with Kirk as well. That's why he didn't. I don't know if that was real or not.
I saw that one as well.
Right? Yeah. But I believe more that he would want to play with Justin Jefferson, somebody young, Yeah, that's interesting though that he picks Jefferson, or Fields to me. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a big bummer if he shut down because that was first round pick for a lot of redraft people. And then a lot of, if you have Jefferson, you're probably contending. So, I have a little tidbit in the 2-minute drive that I will talk about a little bit, but yeah.
Do you have any long-term concerns? Let's say he doesn't play the rest of the season. And then either he comes back to Minnesota and they don't bring Kirk back, or maybe he goes somewhere else. Do you have concerns about his value slipping, or do you think he's so good it doesn't matter?
I do not. I mean, we've seen it every time he's on the field, unless he puts up points. So I don't really have much concern. I feel like he's kind of locked in at 15 points whenever he plays, at least 15 points.
Yeah, agreed. I was just throwing that out there.
It's going to be quarterback dependent for me on
really
concerns for Justin Jefferson. If the Minnesota Vikings decide to let Kirk walk and they decide to go the bridge route of quarterback, they don't take one in the draft, and we just get a ho-hum guy out there, I'd be a little concerned. I don't think it changes value too much, I guess, from that perspective. But man, if we get into a half season or 3/4 season and he's just not performing to Justin Jefferson levels, it's going to start seeming like, I got all this value here. Maybe I can split that down for a couple pieces that are performing at the same rate that he is at this point in time. If that makes sense.
I can see that, but I feel like he's, even with a mediocre quarterback, I think he's going to still get his share.
Probably.
To me, that's how good he is.
James Conner to the graveyard?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we
know before he got hurt? Couldn't sell when he was doing anything.
So James Conner, is he going to be he's on the short-term IR? He can come back, right? Or
I believe he's
I'm checking right now.
Okay.
I think his isn't terrible, so I think he would come back after 4 weeks.
The other thing there too is just for their running backs. I know everyone was dapping up. I forget how to say his name, but
DeMarcado.
Thank you.
I think it is
that one. But honestly, so Keontae Ingram might be the guy. He was out. He was injured last week. That's why DeMarcado got all that work. I would be a little hesitant to just throw in him as just automatically getting the carries. I think Keontae Ingram is probably a better running back, and I would imagine they're probably going to split quite a bit of the work there.
Exactly what I was thinking. DeMarcado played well last week, obviously when he was brought in, so that kind of will be stuck in the coach's head. But also we haven't seen Ingram, and I agree. I think Ingram is the better running back, but I think it's just going to be a committee, to be honest.
Yes, I agree. It's got to be a committee out there. Sorry, I'm not skipping ahead and doing notes right now.
Sure.
I believe you. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be tough to replace what James Conner can do for an offense. He can kind of be on the field for all 3 downs if you need him to, and I think it's going to hurt the Cardinals a little bit here and what we've seen them able to accomplish to not have somebody like James Conner out on the field.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna definitely hurt them. And then I think they're gonna stick around games. So I don't know if they're gonna obviously rush James Conner back. They have nothing they have really nothing to play for.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And that's one guy that I hope does come back though, because when he plays, he puts up some solid points.
Yes, indeed. Yes, he does. You guys want to jump down to these running back tiers?
Let's do it, man.
Whoa. I forgot Achane. That one hurt my heart.
Oh, yeah, Achane to the 4-weeker.
Yeah, and they have a bye week in there too. So he's going to be back as week 11, which is a bummer.
It has to be 4 games if you go on to it. They can't.
Yeah, 4 games if you're going
in there. Really? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Poop. Yeah. Swag.
Indeed.
Interesting. Very, very articulate. I like it.
One more. We have Khalil Herbert's going to miss some weeks. And I think it is Roshan time, but unfortunately, I saw today that he's still in concussion.
Yeah. He's still in the protocol, right? Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
it be Dante Foreman.
Yeah, but I do think once Roshan's back, it'll be Roshan time.
I think so too. I think Roshan's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
When he's gotten his opportunities, that offense is still kind of figuring itself out. It seems like maybe they've turned a corner the last couple of weeks here.
We'll see. They should. If I think they have, then they should beat Minnesota because that's not a good Minnesota team,
or
right?
at least look good, right?
Yeah,
like competent.
Yep, 100%. All right, enough sad injury news.
There was a lot of it this last week. It was like every 2 minutes I was like, oh, someone's down and getting help off the field. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Injury bug indeed. All right, Jay, you want to give us your tiers?
Yeah, so this whole kind of segment really started because people were talking in the Discord about whether they would take Achane over Breece Hall. And this is before the injury news really came out, like how significant it was. But basically the running backs kind of get kind of gross, right? So at the top of the list here, I have Bijan in a tier all by himself. Then in the second tier, I have Christian McCaffrey. I still have Achane in there. I still believe in him. I have Breece Hall and Jonathan Taylor, kind of all in that 2 through 5 range. 6 through 8. Now, this is where things really start to get dicey, right?
Oh, yeah.
So running back 6 through 8, I have a third tier of Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then I have Tony Pollard, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and Austin Eckler rounding out the top 12, kind of in that fourth tier. And then if you wanted to go further, which we didn't, but it gets real bad. Like,
man.
The next guy I have in there, it's like Kyron Williams, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, and it's at Montgomery. It's because like someone had to go there, not because I like them that high.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of a kind of a hot take, I guess, per se. I was kind of looking at JB's tiers as well, and so I kind of it's not crazy out of left field, but so for my top guy, obviously is Bijan, and then my second tier is about the same. I have Breece ahead of it, Achane right now. Achane's my guy, but I have him ahead, and then honestly, Jonathan Taylor could also jump over Achane as well, but you can interchange those guys. And then in tier 3, I actually have Etienne as my number 6 guy, and then Walker in Gibbs. Honestly, might be down in my tier 4, and I might just have like 2 guys in tier 3. I need to see a little bit more from Gibbs. This is where it gets different for me. I have Swift and Monty in there at 11 and 12 because both have looked really, 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 really good. And like we've said, it's very dicey, right? So who I'm going to take out of there is Jacobs and Eckler. Both are a little bit older. I'm probably going to be, shot in the foot, right? So I think they're both going to start to heat up a little bit. Eckler, we haven't seen as much, but I think Jacobs just, to me, does not look the same. I don't know if it's just that whole offense or what, but
it's the line.
He looked a little bit better on Monday, but I just overall, he doesn't have that same offensive line, so I think he's really hurting. And then we haven't seen much of Eckler. Right. When we see Eckler, he's really good, but to me, he's old. I think his contract starting next year is going to get dicey. He's going to have to go play on like 1 or 2 year contracts, and that's not somebody I'm going to want unless I'm trying to get
title chasing at that point, though.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
Think he's going to land himself in a good opportunity if he gets the choices to where he's going.
So let's say he gets 2 more good years. Like, would you not take that? Like I would, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, I would. I think this is very fluid in tier 4, right? So I think they're going to be fluctuating up and down, and so I just also he gets injured every year, but I would take Eckler.
So
who's healthy in this tier?
Okay, well that's
in the whole running back landscape.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Eckler's been the running back 1 the last 2 years, so like. He does miss games, but the points still count when he's on the field.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't fault you though for having him lower. Like I get it. He is 28. The one pushback I would say Jacobs is only 25, so he's really not like old yet.
He's really only 25 years old.
He's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah,
he was young when he came in, so I think he still has at least a good 3, maybe 4 years left.
Yeah. Okay. It might have been more because like. He, I think that was his.
He hasn't looked good yet, but
and then also it was last year or is this his 5th year?
This is his 5th year, because he didn't get the 5th year option.
Yeah. Okay. So So that kind of was where my head was going. Like, I don't know. I thought maybe last year was his 5th year, so that's why. I don't know. But yeah, so that's just my. Honestly, I could also argue that I could throw Eckler in there and take Pollard out. Pollard has not looked as good either.
He's been fine. That whole offense for the Cowboys has been rough, and I think we all kind of have hinted at it. It's like really once you get past that first like 4, maybe 5 guys, it's kind of just like pick your poison on who you want, right? Like they're all kind of just it's not great, right? So
and that's kind of what I mean by it's fluid, right? 1 week, and Monty's looked really good the last couple of weeks, right? And same with Swift. So both are, I think, on my eyes, moving up, but then they could have a couple of bad weeks and then they'll be moving back down.
Ron, do you know?
Offensive... Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, Ron, do you know what Montgomery's contract was that he got in Detroit? Was it a 2 or 3?
I know it's a 3-year deal.
Is it?
3?
I would guess that third one's kind of his blank that they can do away with him. But I mean, as long as that offensive line is intact, I don't see them getting away from it. And that's the disappointing part of Gibbs, but at the same time, it affords Gibbs to keep touches off of his body, and then we can maybe start to see him get more effective. I agree. He's been disappointing up to this point from a point scoring perspective, but you can see him when he touches the ball. If you actually watch the game, like it's all there. Like we're just all waiting for it to happen, basically. So just patience with Gibbs, I think a little bit. I'm slightly lower on A-Chain just because shoulder, knee is only week 5. And he had the size concerns coming in. I don't want him to be this kind of guy that gets dinged up here, dinged up there. We're missing here, missing there all the time, because he is electric on the field. He's awesome to have on the field and throw into your lineup. I love the way that A-Chain plays the game. I think he's a good running back, but his size doesn't lend itself to survivability playing running back. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do with Saquon. Do you think Saquon can save this New York Giants offense?
I mean, it can't hurt. I don't know if he can save it single-handedly, but Daniel Jones is a mess, man. I thought he had taken a step forward last year, but
is it because Saquon played
3 or 4 steps backward?
Maybe. Yeah,
it's I don't know what to do with him.
And like Waller hasn't looked good either, and like that was supposed to be their big acquisition. They really don't have a bunch of talent around him. That offensive line, in his defense, is horrendous. It feels like every week I see clips on Twitter of their offensive line just straight up not blocking people and just giving them a free rush at Daniel Jones. So it's
I mean, that means they're not going to be blocking people for Saquon either.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Saquon's going to have to double Saquon, and Saquon's not even healthy. And I don't think Saquon's been healthy for quite some time, really.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think too, because he got like a 1-year like extension basically, right? So I don't think he's in a huge rush to get back and put his body on the line playing behind a horrendous offensive line.
No, I mean, what do they have? How many wins do they have? 1?
I think 1
and
5.
4.
Yeah, because they beat Arizona.
Arizona, so kind of the same as the JJ thing. We've been waiting how many weeks now for Saquon to come back?
Like 3.
When they said it wasn't that bad.
I think he went out in week 2, right?
So it was week 2, and I remember because they played Thursday Night Football the next week, and they were saying that he could potentially be in for that game.
That game, Yep.
And still no.
I thought for sure the next week. I was like, all right, he didn't make the Thursday game. I get it, short week, blah blah blah. Next week, all right. Well, still not out here.
Are there any younger running backs that you think could sneak up there, or that are? I know you talked about Kyren.
Kyren Williams is one I like.
I know you guys already hit
a little bit of juice, and then probably just running backs that aren't in the league yet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But it doesn't sound like there's much coming from this 24 class. I mean, you guys are the Debbie guys. Tell me.
I mean, there's a couple guys that are there. They're not like Trey Benson has looked okay. I think Blake Corum from Michigan's good. Braylon Allen's been kind of hit or miss. Travion Henderson from Ohio State, he's got some home run speed when he's fully healthy. I don't think he's been fully healthy yet, but there are guys. I don't know if they're going to get the capital or not, though.
Yeah, I like Braylon. I just know that there's 2 running backs there in Wisconsin, so you never know who's going to get. And they're both solid, but I think Allen is the better running back there. But I know you guys hate him, but one guy that I think is he had a bad game last week, but B-Rob's doing well, I think. And then Dameon Pierce also, because we talk about how like mush these rest of these guys are. And so I think a couple of the younger guys there with Kyron, Dameon Pierce, and Brian Robinson are some guys that, you could, I wouldn't say there's no way I'd put them in tier 4, right? So I wouldn't put them in top 12 or top 13, but they're probably could be easily the back end of that like 16 to 20 range for me.
Yeah, I like both of them. I think they're really good running backs. And the problem I have is that they don't really get a lot of passing work. And in the full PPR leagues, their scoring is just pretty capped. Unless something like that changes. So they're always going to be kind of in that middling RB2. But honestly, at this point, it's like if you're a healthy running back, you could be in like a top 20 dynasty at this point. Right?
Yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah, that's for sure. For sure. No love for your boy Estime at Notre Dame. I just heard today that Mel Kiper. That's Mel Kiper's RB1. Right?
So Estime is fantastic. Notre Dame and I are having a bit of a hard time at the moment, so we need to. I didn't want to dap them up yet because last week they hurt my feelings.
Oh my gosh, that was rough. On the flip side, though, I think a couple guys that I think are not doing so well, like Ramondre. I'm really disappointed in him. And then another one would be like Pacheco's been meh. I mean, he runs hard, but he's meh. He's kind of the same thing as B-Rob. He doesn't really get the passing work, and he has to have those home run hits and get a touchdown for him to get those extra points, right?
Yeah.
But another guy I want to talk about real quick was Tajay Spears. I think he's kind of climbing himself up the ranks as well a little bit.
For sure. I think he's one that I could see take a step forward as soon as Henry's out of town. And he's already kind of getting more work. He's getting quite a bit of passing work, which is kind of propping up his numbers, making him a borderline flex play most week. But he's looked pretty good.
He sure has. Only with one knee too.
Not bad for a dude with one ACL, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take mine out of there, see if it's better. All right, so let's move into the week 5 matchups. We got bye weeks for the Packers and Steelers. Right. Oh yeah, is it week 6?
Yeah, it is
week 6.
That was my fault. I didn't update this.
You're fine.
My bad.
You're fine. Packers Steelers are on bye.
You'll need some extra shots for Thursday night football this week.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a rough one to get through. I think so too, Holler. Oh my lord,
Kelsey is supposed to play though.
The first
so
quarter.
Nice.
Yes, we got Kelsey is in. Is anybody else going to be relevant in this game, wide receiver wise?
Taylor Swift.
She'll probably be relevant.
Rashee Rice is interesting. I think he's the receiver that you would want to play if you are playing one. Justin Watson might catch a deep ball if you really have no other options.
I was gonna
on
say,
the Denver side, though, I mean, Cortland Sutton has been pretty solid. That's about it. That's all the nice things I can say.
What's up with Judy? That's been rough to watch.
He's soft, and he's not that great.
Yeah, I'm super glad the Lions didn't draft him now. A long time ago, I really wanted Jerry Jeudy to come to Detroit. Okay, anyway, drink because I mentioned Detroit. Come on, guys, join the game. Anyway, so Javonte is going to play, and that just came out today. But what will the Jaleel usage look like with Javonte back?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how healthy Javonte is. If he's ready to go, I think Sean Payton likes to split his backs anyway, so I would imagine there's a maybe close to 50-50 kind of split.
Think so?
Yep, that's what I was thinking as well. Peyton likes to use multiple backs, and I think Javonte is a solid pass catching back as well, but I think Jaleel is a little bit of a better one.
Jaleel's looked better too, just in terms of just running with the ball.
I think the main thing there is he's healthier, obviously.
Sure.
But I don't think they're gonna fully deploy Javonte tomorrow.
Probably not. No, because I don't think it's gonna be very close. Like we all think. Okay, let's move on to the Ravens at Titans in London. We kind of hit on Tajay a little bit. Do you think we're going to see more Tajay, less, the same amount of Tajay? He seems to be pretty consistent. I'm going to go with same amount of Tajay.
I think same. I don't really think there's going to be too much of a difference until after the Titans bye week. I think if there was going to be like a spike in usage, it'll be after the bye. These London games are always kind of weird. You never know what to expect just because everyone's so jet lagged and you're not sure who's feeling it, who's there and showed up. Derrick Henry's a little older, Tannehill's a little older, Hopkins is older. They might take them a little bit harder. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
I think it's on the way there. You guys take a nap.
I'm with the same with Tajay, and I don't know about Derrick Henry, man. I think he's on his decline for sure.
I thought we were calling for it. The end of Derrick.
Yeah,
he hasn't looked good.
Yeah, that's exactly. I thought maybe he'd be able to put together another season, but each week looks worse and worse. And then Tajay looks good. I mean, I don't think they should keep him off the field because he looks really good. And their offense is mediocre at best, and so and they're staying in games, so they need somebody that's actually producing.
Yeah. So what about this high-powered Ravens offense we heard so much about? We're gonna get it. We're gonna see it in London.
It's like a Toyota Sienna, high-powered.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Bragging about your Toyota Camry running down the street. That's great. But no, I mean the Ravens have been fine. Like they're winning games, right? And I think ultimately that's really just like the John Harbaugh thing, right? It's just he's gonna play good defense and protect the ball and win. I mean, I know they didn't do a great job of that last week. They turned the ball over.
Man, Lamar carries that thing like a loaf of bread, dude.
He does.
I can't stand that. Like, he's awesome to watch, but the way he waves that ball around, dude, even I scream about it. I'm not even a Ravens fan. Anyway, Commanders at Falcons. So the Bears kind of gashed the Commanders. I saw some of those runs that Herbert was ripping off there, and is it wheels up for Bijan against this defense?
I would assume so.
This is a much better rushing attack coming from Atlanta and going up against Washington. There we go.
Yeah, I think this might be a week that Bijan, puts together some good rushing numbers. He's been getting obviously catches, and I think last week was the pretty impressive touchdown or the impressive catch. And so
I think the behind the back thing.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Playing N1 Street out there in a football game. Hot sizzle.
So yeah, I'm surprised how bad the Commanders defense is because they played hard against the Eagles. I think the Eagles just kind of overlooked them, obviously. But I was very surprised by that game on Thursday night.
I was just going to touch on that. Those division games are always a little bit closer just because the teams are a little bit more familiar with each other. So sometimes those can be kind of outliers.
I turned that game off for all the reasons I didn't think I would turn it off for. I thought it would be non-competitive the other way around the way the Bears had been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to so London and Pitt's heating up, or is that a comeback attempt that needed to happen?
I don't think so. I don't think Pitt's healthy is part of the problem. Drake London looked good, and I think he is good. It's just, is he going to get the ball consistently, and is it going to be accurate when he gets it?
Yep. Wes puts it, the best. It's Arthur Smith, so Wes is guessing it's going to be Algier, Jonnu, and newly acquired Van Jefferson.
Sure, I'll have some gadget roll and score. Yeah.
So you never know.
Why?
They needed a receiver, man.
What? That was just my. I don't know why they traded for.
They didn't really give up anything for it. That was like a late round pick swap.
So. They didn't, but for a team that doesn't use wide receivers at all, what are you doing?
What's the point? Yeah.
You don't use your best wide receivers anyway. All right, frustrating usage for these Commanders wide receivers. Sam Howell is pretty much distributing the hell out of this ball. Everybody is. What we got? Terry at 31, Dotson 27, Samuel 27, Thomas 24.
Yeah, those are their target numbers, and I was surprised because Sam Howell's thrown for the sixth most passing yards, and then I was like, that doesn't seem right because none of the receivers have done anything, and it's because they're just throwing them to whoever's open.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas looked pretty good of not being injured and pretty solid, because you never know what's going to be good tight end. But it sucks, because we all thought Dotson was going to be really good. We thought Scary Terry was going to be solid, but it's been all meh.
These things, Holler. Don't lump me in with you two.
Sorry.
Sorry. Holler and I thought that. Ron knows better than that.
No, I wish he would pick a favorite. That would be a little bit easier for fantasy. Yeah. At least we could know which one of these guys we could toss in, as his favorite. That would be beneficial to anybody. Maybe, a couple more games here and some things show themselves out. I don't know. Let's move on to the Vikings at the Bears. Do you guys think Kirk Cousins can continue to be valuable without Justin Jefferson?
Valuable, yes. As good as he's been, no. He's been borderline like a top 5-6 quarterback over the first month of the season. I don't think there's any way that can continue without Justin Jefferson. Sounds like Addison's banged up a little bit too, which is kind of a bummer. I don't think it's anything serious, but he showed up on the injury report, which is never, super exciting. And it's like he's throwing. Hawkinson should get his, and then KJ Osborne's now their wide receiver 2. So the one saving grace for Kirk's value is their defense is horrendous, and they're gonna kind of have to throw it to keep up. So
they can't run the ball either. So
no, their running game's horrendous.
Yeah,
I think Hawk probably benefits the most, but once Addison gets healthy, then he'll probably benefit. I think the most wide receiver wise, and he could get a little more benefit than Hawk. You can't throw the ball to Hawk every single time. So
you cannot.
Yeah,
Detroit tried. I'll tell you that. I don't mean to bring them up. They're just involved. That's for JB. Okay. Do you guys think DJ Moore and Fields can repeat what they did to the Commanders this past week? I had McSpanky look up some numbers for me because there's no way in hell that Ron was finding this. I'll let McSpanky explain the numbers, but it basically has to do with Justin Fields getting blitzed because I know that the Vikings blitz a ton.
Yes, the Vikings do blitz a ton. So look this up. They have the highest blitz rate in the NFL at 56.2% of the snaps. So basically over half of them they're sending heat. However, they only generate pressure 21.4% of the time. So which is in the bottom third of the league.
That's so bad.
So they blitz a ton and they don't get home, which explains why their defense sucks.
Right.
But and then conversely there for Justin Fields, he's basically the same thing. So when he's been kept clean, his completion percentage is 70%. He's thrown 7 touchdowns. He's looked awesome, right? When he's been under pressure though, that number drops down to 48.3%. And he looks horrendous. So the real question here is all right, is the Bears offensive line going to prevail or the Vikings D line going to get home? Because I think that's ultimately going to be the outcome of this game. If the Bears can keep Fields clean in a nice pocket, I think the Bears can not do what they did last week because I think those were career games for Fields and DJ Moore. But they should be, solid. And I guess we'll just have to see.
With that amount of blitzing, DJ Moore should see a whole lot of man coverage out there. And if DJ Moore is just getting man coverage, just chuck it up and just see what happens at this point because you have nothing else you can do in that offense.
Yep, I agree.
Seahawks at Bengals. Higgins back, limited at practice. Joe Burrow and Jamar, do they continue to run the 7-11? That's open all day for anybody that didn't know. And will we see any JSN coming off this bye week for the Seahawks?
So let's touch on the Bengals first. I do think
touch them.
Chase and Burrow looked a little bit more mobile than he has in the past few weeks. I saw him; he was kind of moving around a little bit in the pocket, which was nice. Which, probably makes sense as to why he looked better.
Hold on. Can I interrupt you real fast? Did you guys see the touchdown? I believe it was the third touchdown. The one where Chase comes across the back line of the end zone and he's got the 2 defenders chasing him. That was the best throw Joe Burrow's had all season long. And that looked like Joe Burrow is what that looked like. Dude, that was a sweet play.
It was.
I think he's starting to, so I think he is starting to feel a little bit better, a little bit more like himself.
Yeah.
T. Higgins, hopefully he can stay on the field, and hopefully with a healthy Joe Burrow, he starts to look like what we all kind of hoped he would be. And then on the Seahawks side of things with JSN, I hope they use him more coming off the bye, but it just doesn't seem like they want to use him in any way that's productive.
Was it the wrist? Is it still the wrist? Is it is he not? Is it?
I don't think there's been much that's come out, but I'm with you, Jay. I don't think they're going to use him any different. I mean, I'll look and see if there's any news, but I haven't seen much come out. But I would love to see more. He's very very impressive when he's getting the ball.
Supposed to be open all day.
Him too?
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Every receiver is open.
That's true.
If you ask any receiver, they're always open.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But yeah, I think and Joe Burrow's, I agree 100%. He's looking a lot better. I think last week was maybe, I'm hoping, a little bit of a turning point for that offense, especially if T. Higgins is coming back. If he's not, Trent Irwin obviously is not somebody that you're going to want to play multiple times. But he got, I think it was 10 or 12 targets last week. But it only equated for like 56 or 60 something yards or whatever. But that offense, I think, was starting to do a little bit better last week.
Yeah,
it's obviously they were playing Arizona, but
Arizona's defense isn't terrible.
Yeah,
sometimes you just need to get right game. Sometimes you just got to get right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that's kind of the get right game, and I'm hoping because a lot of people have Burrow. There's some Jamar Chase. I have some Jamar Chase, and then I have a good amount of T. Higgins, unfortunately. So I'm hoping he comes back. And then I honestly think, I've talked about I love Charbonnet, but I do think Kenneth is going to hold his RB1 because he's that more home run guy that he's going to get you into the end zone.
He's just better.
Yeah. Sharp's going to be sprinkled in. He's going to be, a guy that when Walker needs to go out, get a drink of water or whatever. Sharps will hold the water for him.
Hand him his towel.
Exactly.
How you doing?
Exactly.
You're doing great out there today, Kenneth. Good job out there running that ball.
Charbonnet is the best backup to their starter that Seattle's had in a while. So I think he'll get a little bit more work than guys like DJ Dallas or
I think we can start to see a little more as the year progresses, and we see all these running backs get dinged up. Nobody's freaking Superman out there. All right, 49ers at Browns. Whose turn is it in the 49ers offense this week? It's got to be probably a Debo week
or Ayuk. I mean, Ayuk hasn't had much in the last.
Yeah, the Browns have a good defense, man. I don't
know if they'll be going deep. That's where I was thinking with what McSpanky's kind of going with the good defense, and they got Myles Garrett over there rushing the passer, maybe a little short stuff.
Could be quick dumps to Debo. Let him do his thing in space.
Yeah. I'll say CMC then. Ooh, he already had his week, but then
CMC has a week every week.
Exactly.
This is leave him out of the equation. Man needs his own sport to play.
What's going on with Deshaun Watson? My goodness.
His shoulder's messed up, and
you guys see Njoku's face.
Holy smokes! Yeah,
you see that. I'm glad he's okay. Sounds like that could have been dangerous.
Terrible. Yeah,
glad he's okay. I'm impressed like hell that he played last week with.
Well, he played with his face like that.
Yeah, that's.
And Watson won't.
Yeah. Watson, it sounds like it's just his shoulder's just sore, right? So man, I don't know.
You go out there, maybe.
Goodness.
Is there much to talk about with the Browns offense? I mean, when Nick Chubb kind of went down, I kind of paid even less attention to the Browns, to be honest with you.
Their offense sorry, go ahead, Holler.
All I was going to say is I think their defense is what keeps them in games, and their offense is meh. Especially I think PJ Walker's starting if
baby. XFL star PJ Walker. Put respect on that man's name.
So I don't know if I want anybody. I mean, obviously you're going to probably fire up Amari Cooper, but Jerome Ford, I think I saw he was questionable as well too. So man, that offense is meh.
Give everybody else a handoff before him.
True.
It's insane.
Yeah, the Browns offense is pretty bad. They just have been protected by a good defense.
Yeah, and they're playing the Niners this week. Maybe that's why Deshaun's hurt. He's
true.
The 49ers coming to town.
I wouldn't know either.
Little sore still. Came up a little lame. All right. Saints at Texans. Tank Dell, no practice today. Still concussion protocol. That looks pretty bleak for the weekend then.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play.
So it's probably a big Nico week, unless he gets Lattimore. Could get Lattimore.
That's true, yeah.
It's in Houston, so it's a little different.
Maybe
it's
Schultz,
like another go away kind of. Yeah.
Another Schultz game.
Yeah, Schultz showed some signs of life, which was nice.
He did, yeah.
He was he kind of saved the day for him, didn't he? At the end there, saved the day, and then they wound up losing it.
The defense kind of choked it away, but that's all right.
Yeah, right.
We don't talk about that.
There. we don't talk about Bruno. Will Olave bounce back this week? Don't sue me, Disney.
I sure hope so.
I mean, how?
But I don't know.
Okay, I don't want this to come off rude, but how much can you bounce back when Derek Carr is not? So not only is he Derek Carr, but he's not healthy.
That's what I was going to ask. Is this more to do with Derek Carr's health than it is to actually
do? So.
Yeah, I don't
they're
think
just kind of off kilter here.
I don't think it has too much to do with Olave. I think it has all to do with Derek Carr's health and Derek Carr being Derek Carr.
The Texans too have played pretty good defense at home, especially. They've played a little bit better at home than they have on the road, and so with this being in Houston, I could see this being kind of a lower scoring game and the Saints struggling. I don't know. Maybe Alvin Kamara can get something ridiculous. What did he have? 13 catches?
13 catches for 33 yards, I believe, was the stat line.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You double check it, but that's off the top of my head.
That sounds right. So that could be another lineup in store for Kamara.
Yeah. Colts at Jaguars. Minshew mania, baby. The jorts are back. The long flowing locks, the mustache, the handlebars, all of it is intact and in tow. Can he continue performing at a high quality level?
I think he can. I think this is actually probably a good thing too for guys like Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Just a little bit more of a consistent passer. And Minshew's looked good, and he's a little bit streaky too, right? So there's a very good chance that he could also go out there and just throw 3 picks and look like garbage, but he's gonna sling it, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, he's a wild man out there.
You never know which Jaguars team's going to show up. They've been kind of really up and down, and so I think they're going to put a little bit more into JT's hands this week, but I still think it's going to be kind of not as much as people would like. They said they're going to ease him in, so. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's going to be better for Pittman and Downs. And then which wide receiver shows up, or not really shows up, but which wide receiver is going to get the load on Jaguars this year or this week? Excuse me.
It seems like Kirk has kind of been the target favorite. The one thing though too is just it seems like the NFL this year, they used to give teams a bye after they came back from London. They're not doing that this year. So Jacksonville, they kind of have the reverse jet lag right on the way back, and they've been over in London for 2 weeks. So it's not going to be great. They're probably going to be a little bit tired. It is at home though, which is nice for them. This is a division game, so we'll see. It could be a good ETN week. I don't think the Colts are the greatest run defense. So
that's what I was thinking. And he did have a really good game last week, 2 touchdowns. And so I think he's going to start to heat up. I wonder if they're going to use Tank at all.
That's how it's maybe Travis, sit down. Just take a few plays off. Let Tank out here, buddy. I don't know. He's so electric out there, man. I mean, you can't really take him off the field. The dude could just house it at any point in time. It's the Kenneth Walker argument here.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, so Panthers at Dolphins. No Achane. You guys think Mostert can shoulder this load, or are we going to see some Jeff Wilson coming back?
Wilson, they haven't activated him from IR yet, but he did get a practice in, so that's promising. Mostert is a really good running back. I don't think he should get the full workload just based on his health history.
Yeah. Sure. Who else is that? Is it Ahmed?
Salvin
Ahmed.
Yeah, it would be Ahmed. Yeah, I believe.
But it might just be quick passing game.
Yeah, right.
They basically act as a run game. That's.
It could be anybody. They're playing the freaking Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
I
agreed. This game, I think, is going to get out of hand.
It's
poor
probably.
Panthers,
I mean, dude,
man.
the Panthers look dysfunctional too. Did you like their coach? Did he basically say he wanted CJ Stroud and not Bryce Young the other day at a press conference? Like, it doesn't look great over there.
I saw
getting
that, yeah.
pretty bad. Bryce is probably going to be a bust, and that looks terrible.
He's trending that way. He's not getting a lot of help though. He doesn't have a good line or receiving options, so
no, pretty much zero help outside of Adam Thielen here. Yes.
Whoa, that guy doesn't die.
Yeah, man.
I said what I said.
The wheelchair out there. He's lucky Brian Branch didn't play. He wouldn't have half that stat line. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
Yep.
Okay, so do we move on to New England meets New England West?
Sure, this is going to be a
Westerly
gross game.
showdown.
So, fun fact:
Patriots at Raiders.
Patriots Raiders are the only two teams that have not scored over 20 points in a game yet.
That's the closest stat ever said.
Can't imagine, based on what I've seen, that either of those will change after this week.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, honestly,
what I will say is Carlson missed 2 field goals last week, and they would have gotten to 23 points on Monday Night Football. So we were close.
Very close. At least you got the W. Who do you want to draft that quarterback next year? Who do you think you're taking? You guys going to ruin Drake May for everybody?
No.
With Josh McDaniels?
I want Bo Nix. I think
Bo Nix is not.
That's the one I want.
I'm telling you, McSpanky, he's not.
Wow.
Respectfully,
they get him later.
Bo Nix is my boy.
Respectfully, he can be your boy. I'm just telling you, like the Washington Commanders, he will not be there. Okay. Gosh, that is such a gross stat, though. I hope Mac can finish this game because I did some serious Mac pumping.
You did, man.
Well, but also to give you credit, we were hyping up the Daniel Jones side of that argument. So it turns out it was just that they both suck and it doesn't matter.
Quarterbacks, yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think if Mac were in San Francisco, like he should have always been, that he would just be living the Brock Purdy life right now, though. That's neither here nor there. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it quickly though, so I don't get off on tangents here. Lions at Buccaneers. Sun God practiced today. Gibbs is day to day. Can Baker continue to produce? But whoever put this sneaky letdown spot for the Lions in here, I swear, I understand. Which one of you was it?
It was me. No, but okay. So let me just make my argument for it. The Lions have looked really good. They've they came off a huge win at Green Bay, and then they beat Carolina. They're 4-1. They look like they're the real deal. This is the kind of game when you travel down to Tampa against a good defense and a good team that this will be really telling whether that they are like a really good team and they're like a legit playoff, contender, or they're the
Detroit Lions.
Not that they're the Detroit Lions, but they're just like a decent, like they're a good team. They're going to win their division. Like, let's be real, they're going to win their division because that division's garbage. But it's just this is going to be telling to me whether they can legitimately compete in the playoffs or if there's going to be like a one and done.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. Because the Bucs are a solid team. Baker's been playing well. They have a good offense. They have a really, really good defense. I agree 100%. I hope Sun God plays. If he does, that's really going to help them a lot. And then I personally think Baker will continue to produce. I know Detroit has a pretty solid defense, but I think that he has not done his normal like mediocre things or like dumb things he typically does. I feel like there's been a few, but I just feel like he's looked a lot better.
You do feel like it's coming though, right?
There's a lot of pressure coming on Sunday. I can tell you that right now. And it ain't just from Aiden. There's a whole hell of a lot of pressure coming. That's what freaks me out about Baker's when he gets under pressure and he just starts winging it and he's feeling himself. And the Lions can bring pressure, that's for sure. They heated up Bryce pretty bad and Jordan Love, and we saw what happened to them. But yes, I agree. It's a sneaky letdown spot. So let's not let anybody down, Detroit. Come on now. All right, Cardinals at Rams. I think I did pretty good. We got out of there pretty quick. No James Conner. Is it DeMercado? We kind of already talked about this, didn't we?
We did a bit, yeah.
Okay. We kind of got Ingram going, and we got Kupp and Puka continuing to feast.
For sure. I think they're gonna. There's plenty of room, and all the targets are funneling into those two, basically. So it's awesome. hopefully that continues, and it wasn't just like Cooper got kind of eased in. I mean, he got a ton of work, so I think that's no reason to think that can't continue with both of them kind of living and being awesome.
How many targets did Cup have his first week back?
I think it was like 11 or 12.
Double digits, I know.
Yeah.
I can pull up this.
I can't wait to have my Puka shirt.
Yeah, dude, I saw
you got one.
Yeah, I got it. Not a jersey. I just got a T-shirt. Just I'll show you.
Puka Nakua.
He's still not on pristine auction. He has no memorabilia on
what
there.
The hell?
Yeah, it's like Nakua Matata, I think is what it is.
Nakua Matata, yeah.
Cup had 13 targets.
13, yeah.
Lord.
So yeah, that means
it's a good thing you saw that hamstring specialist. Man, oh man, it's all good.
Yeah. I thought they played, and let me give me a little bit of my. I thought they played solid against the Rams. So I mean, excuse me, against the Eagles. So
they got a good scrimmage.
I'm hoping that they're not gonna. This could be another like letdown as well, right? I think it
could be
divisional game,
though, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's at home, but divisional game, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Sure. Yeah, I love seeing Stafford out there still slinging that rock. You know that. So, oh, baby.
All day.
Right. Yeah, buddy. Dude, you can't stop Stafford. You got to drag him off the field. Yep. Eagles at Jets. Can the Jets muster any offense outside of Breece Hall?
Realistically, can Breece Hall get going this game too? The Eagles defense is pretty solid. So I'm a little nervous about starting anyone on the Jets because they were fine against Denver. I mean, Breece was, but he ripped off that huge 72-yard touchdown run, which helped the stat line. Outside of that, I mean, the offense was mostly just kind of ho-hum and just did what it did. A little concerning.
I see you got some more stats in here, McSpanky.
I did. So this is more like if you're debating AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, that you might. I mean, I think you probably have to play both of them because you probably don't have better options. Right. But the last 3 weeks, only 3 players have gone over 50 receiving yards against the Jets defense, and they were Travis Kelce, Pharaoh Brown from the Patriots, and Samaje Perine. So no wide receivers have done it.
I think
they're
Pharaoh Brown's. Yeah, I think Pharaoh Brown's was like a 50-something.
Yeah, and that was fluky too because it was like a random 50-yard touchdown. So
yeah.
I'm gonna bet this is the week it gets done because I know the Jets play a very physical brand of football and they're all flying around all crazy on that defense. Well, Philly's offense flies around like that and they'll beat you up and run you down. I think some deep shots will be hit on these guys after this run game shows up. I know that the Jets have a good defense, but Zach Wilson's going to turn that thing over, and the Eagles offense is going to have a lot of opportunities.
I would say whatever receiver doesn't get matched with Sauce Gardner is probably the one that is more likely to do well.
Sauce doesn't travel though, does he? Sauce just stays on one side of the field, so you just go to the other side of the field. If you don't want Sauce, just put your wide receiver 3 over there with Sauce, and he can just cover him all day. Have fun, bud.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know that. I would have to look.
I don't know. I don't think Sauce travels. I really don't. Because I think he was talking about how he's not Darrelle Revis. Salah was some Darrelle Revis thing question or something happened one day. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay, Giants at Bills. Cover your eyes, New York. It's going to be ugly. It has been really tough to watch the New York Giants. It's going to be even tougher if Saquon doesn't play yet again. Like if Saquon plays, I'm definitely going to watch for a little bit here. I want to see what Saquon can do or not do. But this Bills defensive line front whole thing, might just tear them to shreds.
Yep.
The crappy thing about this too is that with Saquon's status being up in the air, it's Sunday Night Football, so you kind of have to either have another option on there or from a Monday night game. So you kind of have to make the decision are you going to risk it and play Saquon and hope he's healthy, and if he's not, just hope you have some other option, or keep him on your bench and get sure points. But
yeah, I hate that, and I don't understand why the Giants. I mean, obviously they make the schedule before the season, but I feel like they're in a ton of primetime games, and it's just been brutal to watch. And I think it's going to
flex. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's going to be a lot of the same. I really hope Saquon plays because it's going to be better to watch. But I don't think he's going to save that whole offense at all. I mean, I think that line is bad. We talked about that, and I think, like Jay said, Daniel Jones is just a mess.
The other thing to keep an eye on in this game too is, I mean, Stephon Diggs had another meltdown on the sideline last week against over in London with the Jacksonville thing. So that seems like that situation's not cooling off.
That's just who Stephon Diggs is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've seen he always has a meltdown.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's something about the Bills. I know they're a really good team, but something about their team, like chemistry, just doesn't sit well.
I think Josh Allen's a wild man, is what I think.
Yeah.
He's just, out there. Hey guys, check this out. Hold my beer. You know what I mean?
Cowboy. So
yeah, like it really fits him. It truly does. Cowboys Chargers. Monday Night Football points and more points. Austin Eckler coming back.
I think it's going to
back.
Yeah, I think. Well, they said it was like 99%. He's going to play. That, so right? So that's another guy I really hope plays.
His mom also tweeted "bolt up" like 2 weeks ago when he didn't play either. It was like photo of him or something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Austin's coming back."
Yeah,
he was not.
So I think coming off the bye, I think he will play, and I think this is sneakily going to be a really good game. Obviously, I think a lot of points are going to be put up, but I think it's going to be a lot back and forth. I think both teams are pretty meh.
Do you think a lot of points are going to be put up? I don't trust Dallas to score points unless their defense is doing it for them.
Oh.
But I think I like that argument.
Really bad defense.
That's where my argument's going. I think that their defense is extremely bad. But yeah, and I mean that offense has been rough to like all across the board.
I mean, it's a bad defense against the bad offense. So something's got to give, right?
Ooh,
exactly. That's what I was thinking. So I don't know if it's just I want a good Monday night game. I think that could be what it is that I'm hoping for.
A good Highland game for a change.
I think it'll be a competitive game. I think that.
Yeah, it should be. So yeah.
Back to the Giants Bills. They just flexed Lions Buccaneers to that 425 slot, so I don't know why they can't start flexing these Giants games out of here, man. Just get it out of
They absolutely should.
I don't want to watch it. Anyway,
couldn't agree more.
All right, you guys want to get a 2-minute drive?
Let's do it.
All right. I don't have anything yet this week, so
that's fine. I'll kick us off here. So my thought here was kind of like Back to the Future. Like, what's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out? So we're 5 weeks into the season. If you have kind of a middling team, now is the time to make your choices of whether or not you're gonna try to hold out and go for the playoffs, or if you need to start selling out some veteran assets for extra picks. Just really give your teams an honest look and try not to be biased thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to, my team's better than it really is. So take a hard look in the mirror, take a look at those teams, make some decisions.
Tonight or whenever you shower, morning or night, just look yourself in the mirror and say, am I in or am I out?
What's it going to be?
Think McFly. All right.
So this is kind of along the same lines is like with a few injuries on some high level players, like Richardson and HN and Justin Jefferson, is stay the course. You're going to get a lot of crappy offers, a ton. I've gotten a few. Some people are going to be like, oh, I want to sell HN. Don't sell HN. Him and Justin Jefferson, those type of players only come around here and there, right? So if you're like a 5-0 team and you really need those points, I still have a hard time moving Justin Jefferson. I've only moved one share, and it was for a team that was really bad, and I totally did a turnaround. I got like Chris Olave and 3 firsts or something, and it was good for my team. Yeah, this was like before Chris Olave was good. And so that's what I mean. It's like I have such a hard time like moving Justin Jefferson. So do not. All I'm saying is keep those players. Don't sell for cheap, right? I know you're gonna think, oh, I'm 5-0. I need to get those points. just tear down a little bit if you really are going to move off of Justin Jefferson. Like I saw one in the Discord. I think I thought it was pretty good. I think it was Corey had like CD Lamb and Josh Jacobs. And I think both those players will start to heat up a little bit. I don't love it, right? I think I voted for Justin Jefferson, but he said he was 5-0. It was best ball. So a little bit different. But best ball, dynasty best ball. And so I could see both sides of it, right? But I do also think both those guys, CD and Josh Jacobs, you never know what's going to happen. So my main thing is just stay the course. Don't move off of guys because they're injured. Like those type of players only come around so often.
Couldn't agree more.
Indeed. Should we get out of here?
Let's do it.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.